What are the Ìṣẹ̀ṣe beads and what do they stand for? When you see Ìṣẹ̀ṣe people putting on specific beads, are they just for fashion or decoration, or do they have specific meanings? Today, our lecture is about Ìṣẹ̀ṣe beads, the power, authority, and identity. My name is Ogundare Oluwaseun Janet, and this is Living in Iwapele. In Ìṣẹ̀ṣe, which is the Yoruba spiritual belief system, the Ìlèkè or the beads are not just for fashion or for decoration. They actually have very powerful meanings and stories behind them. Now, when you see someone like me putting on some beads, the Yoruba Ìṣẹ̀ṣe system already understands, will I say, my personality, or understands who I am just by looking at me. Now, I am putting on this. This is called the Eshoifa. This is called the Ifa. Now, what is the Ifa system? Contrary to what we believe or what we've been told that it's some sort of demonic or any kind of closed cult, it's actually not. As an Ifa priestess or Ifa devotee or Ifa student, everything has, or let me just say that's what I've actually come to understand, that everything has meaning. Now, the brown of this Ifa bead signifies the soil, sand, you understand, from which nature comes from. Now, this green signifies nature, the trees, the land, everything, you understand. Medicine, that is what the green signifies. So this is what is called a shoifa. So as I am walking, people that in Ìṣẹ̀ṣe knows that, oh, okay, this is an Ifa devotee, or Iyanifa, Ìyàwó Ifa, or Akwetebi. You understand? That is how they refer to people, or especially ladies who are Ifa devotees, are referred to as Akwetebi. This is the Oshun bead. This bead signifies sweetness and fertility. As you can see, I'm a very sweet person. Then this is the white bead for Obatala devotees. So this bead signifies purity, clarity, honesty. Then we have the red and white bead for the Shango devotees that signifies power and authority. Then we have the red and black for the Ishu devotees, which signifies power, communication, and strength. We have the white and blue beads that signifies, Yemoja, horror. We also have the multicolored beads that signifies the Egbe, you understand. So all these beads are not just for fashion. They refer to specific things, you understand. They refer to specific orishas or specific spiritual energy that somebody carries. So as I am now, the Ìṣẹ̀ṣe people can identify me or what category I belong to just by looking at me. So if I want to say this in a way that you can easily remember, the Orisha that has my head fully is Obatala, and that is why I am dressed, or let me say always dressed 95% of the time in white. So this is me identifying with the Orisha that has my head. Now, when I say Orisha that has my head, I think people always confuse this with some sort of spiritual thing. No. The Yoruba spirituality system understands the concept of creation in a way that I don't think any other religion has been able to break it down. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. You see, Shango, Oshun, Oya, Obatala, Orunmila, and all those Irumoles are not just any sort of tales by the moonlight. No, these are actually people that walk the earth. You understand? They walk the earth too. So when we refer to Jesus or Muhammad, these people, or this when I say prophets, they walk the hearse, they existed long time before we came into the picture. So yes, Eshu, Obatala, Oshun were actual people that lived and worked on earth. Now, when they were here, they had children. They gave birth. They multiplied. Their children gave birth to children, and the children also gave birth to children, and that is how we got here. So some of us are like, direct bloodline to maybe Obatala or Oshun or Shango. Do you understand? Now, if I want to explain the beast that I have on and the way I'm dressed right now, I would say that Obatala is my dad. Do you understand? I am from the bloodline of Obatala. So Obatala is my dad, or let's say the founding father of my bloodline. Now, along the way, let's say that, Obatala and Orunmila are very good friends. So I then married into the family of Orunmila, you understand? And that is why I have the Ifa beads on. So my mother is Aje. So I have my Aje adornment. 1 minute, let me put it on. So my mother is Aje. This is a symbol of my mother. So, and I wear the very small one here. So, do you understand what I'm trying to explain to you now? And then I have my friend. My friend is Oshun. So that is me, like say, representing or showcasing my let's say spiritual quote and unquote content. So when people in the Ìṣẹ̀ṣe line sees me, they understand just by looking at me. So all these things are not just for fun. And then we have the concept of Egbe, you understand? And then people say, oh, Egbe, and all those things. Egbe is saying that you have, some heavenly mates, just like you have your own clique here, like the people that you go out to parties with, you hang out with in the physical realm. We also have them in the spiritual realm. It's just for you to know that as it is here, so it is on the other side. So you have, bodies, friends on the other side in the spiritual realm that you don't see, that that are protecting you, that are looking out for you, but though you don't see them, they are there. You understand? You just cannot see them with your naked eyes, but they're there. And that is where you honor them by wearing the multi-colored beads. You understand? It's multicolors because they're like different people or different bodies with different from different places. So it's multicolored. Egbe is not a single color. Then like we have different colors. So sometimes when you see people wear these colors, you greet them. You understand? When the Oshun people see me, they say, Ore Yeye o, I say Ore Yeye Oshun. Do you understand? When the Ifa devotees see me, they say, Aboru Boyo, Aboru Shishe. So all those things are not just for play. So when I see some people wear them and then I greet them based on the symbols, or maybe let me say the Orisha that they are that they are supposedly embodying, and I greet them, I say, oh, how are you? And they cannot reply, then I know that they are probably wanting for fashion, which kind of defeats the beauty of the culture. It's just like me being a Christian, then I then put on the hijab and I put on the and I'm holding the tesbah, or like the rosary, and then a Muslim sister then walks up to me and say, and greets me in the Muslim way, and I cannot reply. That is very, very disrespectful to the to the religion. This also happens in the Ìṣẹ̀ṣe. People wear things without knowing the meanings behind them. Just sit and say, oh, I want it, oh, I want to do this, I want to just wear it. And it should not be like that. So I'll be going into a more detailed video after this one, but I just want to talk about it on this particular video and let you know that when you see people, Ìṣẹ̀ṣe people, putting on some particular beads, it's not for fun. It's not just for decoration or for fashion. No, they are trying to communicate exactly who they are spiritually and also their personality. So I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two today. My name is Oluwashemi Jeanette, and this is Living in Wapele.